When discussing extensions of the subway system, three main projects are the first to come to mind: the 2nd Avenue subway, the Utica Avenue line, and the Rockaway Beach branch. What I like to do though is look at more obscure extension ideas. So today I bring to all of you an extension proposal for the L line, a line which barely sees any talk of extensions. The L line currently terminates at 14th Street 8th Avenue, a 2-track station with a single island platform between the tracks. At the western end of the station, we can find bumper blocks, objects which limits the number of trains this terminal can turn around during rush hour. As a safety measure, trains are limited to 10 miles per hour when entering a terminal with bumper blocks. This is to avoid and limit the damage and number of injuries if any collision occurs with the bumper blocks ahead. This is why at terminals like Pelham Bay Park, Flushing Main Street, and here, trains move slow entering the terminal. Due to trains having to enter the terminal at such low speeds, backups can be sometimes caused, where trains will be back to back to back to back, as far as Union Square. This of course causes delays and is a huge inconvenience for passengers. Now, a way to solve this issue would be to of course just create tail tracks which extend past the station. However, why not go further? Everyone knows that the far west side of Manhattan is devoid of subway service. The only subway station below 72nd Street on the far west side of Manhattan is 34th Street Hudson Yards. However, as the name states, the station's main purpose is to only serve the new Hudson Yards neighborhood of Manhattan, and nothing else. With this proposal for extending the L line, that will change. This plan sees the L line extended past its current terminus at 14th Street 8th Avenue to 72nd Street Amsterdam Avenue on Manhattan's Upper West Side. This extension would see the L line making stops at 14th Street 10th Avenue, 23rd Street, 34th Street, where passengers would be able to connect with the 7 line through a new passageway, 42nd Street, which will also have a connection to the 7 line. This means the construction of the forgotten 41st Street 10th Avenue station on the Flushing line, 57th Street, and 72nd Street, where a free transfer would be available to the 1, 2, and 3 trains. I chose to have far stop spacing on this line, similar to what was done with the 2nd Avenue subway and most of the IND subway. I mentioned this in a video a few weeks, if not a month back, but far stop spacing around the 8 to 15 block range is the way to go. Far stop spacing allows for trains to reach high speeds and stay at those speeds for extended periods of time between stations. Now, you may look at this extension proposal and think we don't need it because some of the bus routes which run on the west side of Manhattan, like the M11 and M12, don't see much ridership, and you may be right. In current times, where we are focusing our efforts on constructing the 2nd Avenue line and attempting to construct the Interborough Express and the Utica Avenue line, this L line extension just isn't a priority. I do think this extension should be considered though. With our city's ever-changing and growing skyline, who knows what the far west side of Manhattan will look like in 10 or maybe even 20 years. Plus, this extension would not only be constructed to provide people with a new subway connection, but to also improve the L line's capacity. While the line would terminate at 72nd Street and Amsterdam Avenue, there would be tail tracks extending as far as 86th Street. This would not only be for a possible further extension into Harlem, but also to utilize those tail tracks for storage purposes and to increase capacity along the line. At stations with tail tracks like 34th Street Hudson Yards and 96th Street 2nd Avenue, trains can come into stations at near full speed as long as they are staying on the same track. Although, stations with high-speed switches like 96th Street on the Q allow for trains to switch tracks at full speed. This increases capacity in a sense because you don't have slow-moving trains near line terminals. This allows trains to run closer and faster together, and with the L line already being CBTC activated, this only amplifies the impact. The L line runs 20 trains per hour currently. This is 1, due to both terminals not having tail tracks, and 2, due to the lack of power substations along the line. This extension would see both new substations being constructed and tail tracks along the northern end of the line, which should allow the MTA to increase the number of trains by 5 to 10, giving the line near 30 trains per hour, similar to the 7. Now, what would I like the design of this extension to be? Something similar to the 2nd Avenue line, maybe the Hudson Yards extension, possibly even something completely different. Well, while I wouldn't want tons of money being spent on attempting to make this extension look stylish, I do think for a new station it should have an interesting design. Personally, I would go for the brick walls and platform tiling seen on the IND 63rd Street line and the IND Archer Avenue line. I think I like the design of those lines so much because they are different from what we usually see in the system. You know, like the bland-ass original IND stations. I don't know. If any of you have any designs that you would like to see if the L line were to be extended in the future, do tell me in the comment section below. And if you have any other proposals for the L line's extension, again, tell me in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video and you would like to get more from Mystic Transit, like, subscribe, and consider supporting me via channel memberships or super thanks. Special thanks to the Bronx Express Gaming for supporting me at the train operator tier, Stuart Guberman for supporting me at the train service supervisor tier, and Daniel Green for supporting me at the 2 Broadway tier.